So I'm heading to work right now. It's currently about 7 something in the morning, like 7:06 a.m. I apologize that you'll hear my window defroster on. It's actually raining right now, so when it rains, I like to leave earlier. Even because it takes me up to 45 minutes to get to work, and my nose is stuffy. No, eyes are dry. My throat is dry as well. But um, anyway, so it does take me up to 45 minutes, depending on traffic, accidents or whatnot. It could take me even up to an hour and a half. Last time when there was an accident on one freeway and flooding on the other freeway, and that took me an hour and a half to get to work. And without traffic, it only takes me about 20 minutes to get to work. So I'd rather leave an hour early, just in case. Even when I leave an hour early that day, one day, I was an hour and a half. I mean, it took me an hour and a half, and I was half an hour late. So you never know when it comes to rain. I mean, where I live, it doesn't snow, so I can only imagine how it would get even worse if it was snowing. But the other thing I want to mention is how anxiety affects me different time of the day. So there's times that I feel the anxiety, I don't let it get to me, and so when it doesn't get to me, I'm just doing whatever, like okay, just do yours. And there's times that, oh my god, I feel it coming, I already freak out, because it's not a full-blown panic attack yet. It's getting to that level of a really bad panic attack, but I'm already freaking out. And when I freak out, you see my previous videos, trust me, that's the only part of what you see. Sometimes it's even worse. Matter of fact, yesterday, the day before, around 2 something in the morning, 2 a.m., almost 3 a.m., I went to use the bathroom, right? Came back from the bathroom, my mind was already racing with thoughts, and the panic kicked in. And it was those type of panic attacks that led me to go into the ER. And then I was like, oh my god, I already went to the ER with the last few months. Like October I went once, November I went once, January I went once. So I'm not trying to go again knowing that it's a panic attack, but however, not all panic attacks feels the same. That's the other thing I noticed, especially for myself. Sometimes the symptoms, I'll get one symptom that bothers me, right? I don't get them all at once, and then if I just get one, like my worst ones is the dizziness, for example. When I get that, like it's hard for me to do anything. Dizziness, I'm not talking just about off balance, but like the dizziness, like off balance. When I lay down, right, I have that spinning sensation in my head. Not like fast spinning, like full on vertical, but it's still a spin. It doesn't matter which way I lay down. Where I look left to right, I look straight up, I will still feel that spinning. And the only way that I can kind of ease off like that feeling, leave my eyes open. If I leave my eyes closed, it feels even worse. The other thing is, I lay on my bed with my legs down, but I'm leaning against my headboard with a pillow in the back of me, a pillow on the side of me, a pillow on both sides of my body, and a body pillow on me. Sometimes I'm leaning against the corner of my bed, which is against the wall. So I use the headboard and the wall to make it feel like, oh, I can't move if these things are holding me back. So it's the worst feeling when you feel like you're always moving, no matter what. Right? So with the vertigo, I get vertigo more when I'm laying down. When doesn't matter which side I face. Well, actually, I think one side is worse than the other side. One ear is worse than the other ear. But when I'm, let's say, sitting, the vertigo kind of ease off, and then I get that drop-in sensation, like I'm falling to the ground, or I feel like I'm being like pulled to the side, left or right, or forward or backward, whatever. When I stand, I feel a little woozy, like, like I can't stand straight. I feel like I'm being dragged to the left or right. Then I feel like I'm being pushed, like I'm walking down a steep hill, but I can't control how fast I'm walking down. Like, for example, when you drive a car, you're going up a steep hill. You feel like the car is losing power going up a hill. But when you're going down a hill, it's really steep hill. You feel like the car, you feel like you don't even have to step on the gas. Same thing like walking down a hill or going up a hill. You feel like you can't really control. You want to go up the hill as fast as you can, but no matter how fast you want up, you don't feel like you get up the hill that fast, right? I can feel the anxiety creeping up on me right now. That's the thing with me. When I have anxiety, I start like touching my heart or my chest area. Where I feel the anxiety creeping up on me, I start touching those certain areas. Last night I slept pretty well. I woke up maybe like 3 times, I believe it was. When I woke up, I fell asleep early. I woke up around, I don't know, maybe 10, 11, and then I fell back asleep. When I fell back asleep, I woke back up around 4 something a.m. I did feel the anxiety a little bit, and then I was like, okay, my alarm is gonna wake me up at 5, so I was like, okay, let me just sleep for the hour, let my alarm wake me up at 5 a.m. because I do set my alarm on 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 6:30, and 6:45 a.m. By 6:45, I want to actually get off my bed so I can go to work. I want to leave at least 7:10 the latest. If I leave at 7:15 or even later than that, there's a chance I might not make it to work on time. Or there might be, you never know. The other thing I would say, sleeping, when you get 6+ hours of sleep, well, for me especially, the anxiety is lower. If I sleep, let's say I fell asleep by 8, I wake up at 10, I need to use the bathroom or whatnot, and then later I'm like, oh, okay, I already slept for 2 hours, for example. If I sleep for 2 hours, and then I go on my phone like, okay, since I always slept for 2 hours, it's 10 o'clock, let me stay on my phone for 2 hours, right? If I fell asleep at 12, or maybe not even at 12, I might even fall asleep at 1 or 2. And then later on, I'm like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock. Okay, my alarm woke me up. And then later, go back to sleep. If I can go back to sleep, or if I don't go back to sleep, and then I'm just struggling trying to fall asleep, then I know for a fact in the morning my anxiety is going to be high. As far as anxiety triggers, me personally, sometimes it's people yelling, not necessarily like yelling at me. Could be yelling at each other, just talking loud in general. Some people like to talk over people, like talk loud. people that blame you for things, people that blame others for things, people that always want to be right, like, you know, they're never wrong. Or when you catch their mistake at work or whatever it is, then, you know, sometimes they say, oh, I don't make mistakes, but when I do, I do. And then they say everyone makes mistakes, but when I make a mistake, people like to point it out, and then that's what frustrates me. And then so when I catch their mistake, they get upset. They're like, oh, nice catch, but you know, let me go see if I can catch one of your mistake. That's one thing that I hate, and I can feel a panic attack coming because of the way my head feels. You know, having a panic attack, especially when you're driving, you're by yourself, it's not. It's kind of scary, but at the same time, you have to like learn not to let it get to you, no matter how hard it is. You know, for me, I had to learn that by looking around, it doesn't help either. Just, you know, just drive straight, look left and look right from time to time, just to, if you change your lane, keep an eye on people trying to merge into your lane, whatever it might be. Oh my God, I feel this is going to be a bad panic attack. My chest feels tight. My head just feels weird. I can't really explain it, but it feels tight. Like my head, someone's squeezing my head, like that tight band around my head, and then the top of my head just feels empty at the same time. My back hurts. My neck. Foot is sweaty. Well, here's the thing with panic attack. Like I mentioned, they don't always feel the same. Sometimes you might feel the panicky, and then you're like, then you can do stuff. And then sometimes you have the panic attack, you just don't want to do it. Then, you know, sometimes you freak out during the panic attack, and then sometimes you're like, you're so scared, but you don't react to it. You're like, just inside your head, it's like, oh my God, you're scared, but you don't show it emotionally outside. That's how I feel right now. Like the DPDR is like kicking me in the ass right now, too. I'm just trying to focus on the car in front of me. I'm like stuck in traffic, stop and go, stop and go. So I apologize if I just get quiet. The way I'm breathing is not, it's messed up too. I might look calm to some people, but inside I'm freaking out. It's February. This is the month in about 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks. This is the, I say about 2 weeks. That's when my brother passed away back in 2015, and in February 2016, that's when I had, about a year or so later, that's when I experienced my first panic attack out of nowhere. So when I had my first panic attack in 2016, around that time of the year, in 2017, I started thinking about what happened to me in 2016. And then 2018, I didn't think about anything when my panic attack was gone. 2019 was fine, 2020 was fine, 2022 was fine, 2023 was fine till the last few months of 2023. That's when I had a lot of anxiety, and then in April 2023, we lived here in April. First time I got to meet my sister from Vietnam. First time in 42 3 years, I got to meet her. And her daughters, her twin daughters, which are my niece. First time I met them in 27 years. So, when they were here to visit for a month, I believe. And then the day that they went back, I'll be honest, I felt sad, a little bit depression. I think the reason why I feel sad and depressed because I thought to myself, all those chances I got to go to Vietnam to visit them, and I didn't go. And I don't know why. I keep telling myself I don't know her. I never seen her before. I have no family bond with her. I'm the youngest, and she's older than I am. Now, I don't know if she saw me when I was born or not, I'll be honest. But I never got to, but that was the first time. And then, we went places, like a family vacation. And that's the first time we ever really went anywhere all together. When I say we're all together, I mean with her, with my sister from Vietnam, because that's the first time she's been here. So, that felt great. I'm not gonna lie. And I wish they were able to stay a little bit longer, 3 months at least, or even longer, like half a year. I know she doesn't plan on moving to the States because her whole life been in Vietnam. My whole life been more in America. Sometimes I just randomly think about this, it makes me feel sad. But video myself going through these times, and it also helps because I don't feel so alone. Then you guys don't feel alone. Even though sometimes we might feel alone, how we feel and whatnot, it's a terrible feeling. Driving was stuck in traffic and whatnot. Sometimes I have the urge to exit the freeway, and then I'm trying to change lane, and then I have a driver that's could drive a little bit quicker and move up so I can change lane, and then the car behind me is going fast, so not letting me go. I don't know, sometimes when people drive like that, it spikes up my anxiety. like, I don't mind getting to work early. First of all, the earlier I leave, the less traffic there is. If I feel that panicky feeling coming, and if I do get to work half an hour, if even an hour early, I actually have a pillow and a blanket in the back of my car, in the back seat. So an hour, I'm happy because just push my seat down and I can just go to sleep. I might not completely fall asleep. But I could just lean back and just like rest my body. Sometimes, I'll be honest, I sometimes can sleep better in my own car than in my house, in the bed. So I don't know why. And here's the other thing. When I have a panic attack, if I will leave my house and I want to run back home, I have to make sure I don't. Sure, if I did it once, maybe I'm like, okay, I did it once. Slap on the wrist. But if I keep saying, okay, let me do it again, guess what? One time, yes, it's fine. But when you keep running home from either you're at work and you want to go home, now you feel sick, like you're throwing up, it's different. But if you're having a panic attack and then you're freaking out, to me, it's best to let your manager, your supervisor know, or a coworker that you're always working with, because if you don't tell someone and you're trying to hide it all the time, like you're trying to hide like your panic attack, like your fake smile, or like ha ha ha, stuff like that, you're just pushing that panic, you're just pushing your problems to the back of your head. And when you do that, you just keep pushing it farther back and farther back. It just adds up more weight to you. And to me, that's not the thing you should be doing. So the other thing that I would say, no matter how far you get, when you have the anxiety, the farther you get from your house, the more the intense fear, the more intense panic will come on. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, it will. Okay, especially if you're doing like exposure therapy, and the first time you leave your house in an X amount of time, don't try to do it too fast. Like don't go out the door and just go for miles and miles away. Start off slowly if you have to. Because I'll be honest, is you never want to go too fast. You don't want to like randomly, okay, let me just hurry up and leave. Because when you do that, it's not good. I got to work. So yeah, I have feel that inside. The panic attack was bad, but sometimes it I can make it worse by just overreacting, overthinking about it. That's the thing. Never, if you, I learned that no matter how hard it is with the panic attack, how you feel, sometimes I still have to remind myself that that I shouldn't let it bother me, because once it bothers me, I'm so focused on how I'm feeling. I keep thinking I'm gonna die, etc., etc. And then the panic attack just goes from a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10. From a 1, it could go to a 10, just by the way I overreact, the way I think, oh my god, I can say, oh my god, I'm dizzy. And then if I'm really dizzy, if I feel like really bad vertigo, and then I start walking, I'm gonna be like, wait, how did I walk straight if I have vertigo? If you have vertigo, it is hard to walk. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where space you are, and everything is spinning. You can't even see. For me, when I have vertigo, I feel my head just spinning. My whole body was spinning all day. I feel nauseated. No, I feel nauseated out of nowhere. Even, but right now, even just talking about vertigo, my head just feels spaced out. Because vertigo, dizziness, those are my triggers. I'm sitting in my car right now, as you can tell, right? As I'm sitting in my car, I'm looking straight. I reverse park, which I always do. I just feel myself. See, this is straight. I feel like I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. That's in the back of my head and part of my neck. It feels tight. It feels like someone is just grabbing me. Oh, my windows are tinted. Oh, it gives me that privacy. Even though it's raining, I put my sunshade on to block, because I'm reverse park. So if I do sleep in the car, I'm parked there pretty close to the employee entrance. So a couple of my coworkers, they know I have panic attack. 2 of them actually gets panic attacks. But not as worse as I do. One of my other coworkers, he gets like head rushes, off balance, but he doesn't have anxiety panic attacks. So it's a little bit different for him. It's like I say, panic attacks feels different for everyone. And people ask, oh, why don't I smoke? I drink alcohol. I'm like, I'm not into smoking. I'm not into alcohol. I never was I never got hooked onto it. And if that's not my thing, that's not my thing. I don't like people telling me, oh, you need to smoke or you need to drink alcohol to calm down. I'm like, okay, I have a fear of throwing up. Now, why would I want to drink alcohol? Now, I will say I do drink wine, but not too often. I only drink it if I'm eating steak, like going out at a fancy restaurant. There, I'll drink a little bit, but I'm not going to drink too much. Now, that's your thing, but telling people you can only have fun if you're drinking or smoking, that's like, okay, how would you feel if your Uber driver's into drinking? That's how he or she feels. And you see them drinking, how would you want that? Most likely no. Because that's your Uber driver. You want to be You want to feel safe in the car. You know, you don't want to be in the Uber driver where he or she's drinking. So the other thing with anxiety, I noticed, it's like you talk about random stuff because you're trying to like get your mind out of your thoughts, and then you just randomly talk about random stuff. And sometimes you feel like you're living the same day over and over, right? For me, sometimes I do feel like I'm living the same day over and over. You know, like I work the same time, I get off pretty much the same time. If I don't have to work earlier, or if I don't have to work overtime, I take the same way home. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I see the same people driving on the freeway when I'm leaving, the same people I'm driving when I go home. You know. And the other thing with the panic attack, sometimes like, you know, bright colors, like bright lights, bright colors, busy patterns on the floor, on the wall. Like if you've been to See's Candy, you see the black and white floor, those tiles. Sometimes when I have panic attacks, I can't go in those stores too long. I feel like the floor is moving. So I'm standing and then I just feel like, like I'm on drugs. Bright colors, like I have like light sensitivity or something. I don't know. Like bright lights at work. You be inside Target, Walmart, certain stores in the mall, whatever, grocery store. Bright lights and the floor shining, it just reflects back in my eyes. I can't handle that. Like right now, you see the sun's right in my face. It's not raining for now. And, that itself kind of bothers me. I feel spaced out. But here's the other thing. Sometimes when I'm doing like breathing exercise, if I'm doing it correctly for a few minutes, it helps. I'm not gonna lie, breathing exercise help. But if I'm sometimes I can't do it because I'm freaking out so much. But I have to remind myself, I'm not breathing correctly. That's why. And then sometimes I'm breathing correctly, and I'm like, why am I having a panic attack? It's like, why is it happening if I'm breathing correctly? But at the same time, I rewatch my videos and I'm like, oh no, my God, I'm not breathing correctly because I'm catching up my breath while I'm talking. But I know I have a really stuffy nose. And here's the other thing with when I sneeze. I noticed one thing when I sneeze, like not just talking about one sneeze, but like multiple sneezing, like over and over. It feels like it's clearing my congestion. It feels like I'm sneezing, like my brain feels relaxed when I sneeze. I don't know why, but when I blow my nose, same thing. But however, if I blow my nose too hard, I get lightheaded. I don't know why. But that's why this Friday, I have this coming Saturday, I have a doctor's appointment. Because I scheduled one, because I want to talk to the doctor about if I can go to see a ENT specialist, or if my doctor can just like kind of look in my ears and see if there's anything going on. Because my doctor haven't looked in my ear, if he sees something in my ears and say, oh my God, that might be why you're dizzy, then we can take care of it. And I'll be honest, sometimes we're going to the doctor. If I went to the doctor a couple of times, I feel okay. But I don't know if I mentioned this. When I was wearing a heart monitor for a week, almost a week, I should say, that kind of bothered me. I was nervous the whole time, and for me,
when you're nervous and you have anxiety, it's hard. It's hard not to freak out because you worry, you freak out. Any little symptoms. For me, not all the symptoms bother me. For example, the weak jelly leg, they don't bother me as long as I don't have the headaches or the dizziness. I'm fine. They're annoying, yes, but they don't bother me. The waist and heart, if I don't feel dizzy, I don't have chest pain, it doesn't bother me. There's sometimes I just have like DPDR. If I'm busy, I don't notice it. But if I'm so focused on how I feel, even if it's a slight, if it's not really bad, it bothers me a lot. You know, if it's only a little bit, and then it won't bother me too much. You know, it really depends on how much it bothers me. So the other, for example, if I feel if I feel a headache coming, and then I'm in my room, sometimes I'll just keep going like this, like how to massage my forehead, the area where I have the headache, and it helps for whatever reason. I don't know why it helps, but it's like I'm loosening up the tense muscle. I have this habit. See, I'm laying flat, not flat down, but my body's straight, but I have this habit of like turning my head to one side and looking to that side. And then when I turn this way, I'm like, oh my God, why do I still feel like I'm that way? So last night, I forced myself to sleep. And when I slept, I make sure I have this habit of like having my neck like hanging down, and I can feel that tightness, that heavy head feeling, and you know, the forehead posture, and it makes my head hurts, like my headache's even worse. And so last night I forced myself to sleep on the pillow. If I'm sleeping on my side, I have to make sure I face that way, but don't tilt my head down to look at the phone if I'm looking at the phone. If I'm sleeping on my back, look straight up, don't have my head up and like my eyes all stand everywhere, and then I slept fine. I didn't feel as dizzy as I normally do. So, and I slept 5+ hours. I didn't wake up feeling dizzy. And you know, when I feel dizzy, I have this habit of like, you know, sleeping and just like worrying and just twisting and turning and everything. And you know, twisting and turning while you're feeling that way is not that good either, because you know, there's times, I'll be honest, when I feel a certain way, you know, if I look left, but I have my head turned like towards the right, I'm going like this, my body center is like doesn't know where I'm at, because I'm head is one way, eyes looking the other way. And the other thing is, when I'm looking at the sky, the clouds are moving, you know how the earth rotates, spinning. I'm like, oh my God, how come I feel like I can feel like I'm spinning with the earth? We know the earth is spinning, but we can't feel it, you know. But there's times that I feel like I'm spinning with the earth. Like right now, the clouds are slowly moving, and then it makes my heart jump a beat, like skip a beat, because of that. You know, it's a terrible feeling. The other thing with different times of the day with anxiety, let's say if I have a panic attack at a certain time almost every day, like for example 12 p.m. right at lunch, then I'm gonna be like, okay, let me go if my manager approved for me to take my lunch for 1 hour, right, I'm gonna go just sleep. I'm gonna be like, okay, let me go to sleep at 11:30 if I can fall asleep. Maybe wake up at 12:30, or and maybe I won't have the panic attack. In my mind, it's like, okay, what time I have panic attack, try to avoid that time. What if I ate something and it do me a panic attack, and then I'm going to avoid eating that thing. So I remember back in 2016, my mom's like, want to eat pizza. Keep in mind, I was already housebound, bedridden, wasn't working anymore. She's like, you want to eat pizza? I said, sure. And they went to buy pizza. I took a bite or two, bam, had a panic attack. And then I looked at the time. I wrote down what time I had the panic attack, what I ate on my little notepad that I had back then. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm having a panic attack because I ate pizza. You know, and that's the scary part. I ate pizza and then instantly think pizza is causing me to have a panic attack. Now, was it the pizza? Was it my mind or something in the back of my head that triggered me into thinking it was pizza? I don't know. That's the thing. You don't know what triggers you to have a panic attack. Now, if you knew what triggered you to have a panic attack, you will avoid that at all costs, right? So anything that caused me to have a panic attack, what time it is, what I ate, while I was watching TV or not, what TV show I was watching, etc. I write it down. Then I would avoid those times while I was eating, while I was watching. You know, here's the other thing. For me personally, taking a shower, going to the bathroom was a nightmare. Because I get so lightheaded when I had to use the bathroom. So, right, I would freak out. I would run to the bathroom, use it, wash my hand real quick, and get out as quick as possible. And the other thing is, when I feel the panic attacks coming, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to use the bathroom. And you know, my girlfriend at the time, which is my ex, you know, when I shower, right, I asked her, can you go in the bathroom with me? And she said, okay. Just leave the door open. You're with family anyway, you know. And then I'm like, okay. And that's embarrassing. So I couldn't shower. The kitchen was another trigger for me. I don't know why. The kitchen, the narrow hallway, those were the places that triggered me to have a panic attack. So I would eat in my room with little to no light. And guess what? I feel less panic attacks at the time when it was darker. During the day, I try to sleep. If I have panic attacks, like let's say 10 a.m., right, I would try to go to sleep at 9 a.m. If I can fall asleep at that time, it's different. But anyways, that's pretty much it.